Hello friends, welcome to this video. This is Rohit. Friends, in today's video we are going to talk about Java database connectivity. So in this video we are going to understand what is JDBC, what is ODBC, what is java.sql package, what different interfaces and classes available within this package, what steps we need to use in order to establish a connection between Java file and a specific database like MS Access or MySQL or Oracle. So all these things we are going to discuss within this video. So let's start. First of all, we will try to understand what is JDBC. So JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. So this is a driver which is used for connecting our Java program with certain database software. So it may be MS SQL Server, it may be MS Access, it may be Oracle, it may be MySQL. So in order to connect your Java program with any such database, we require a driver, and that driver is nothing but JDBC. See here, Java program cannot directly communicate with a database because Java is a high level programming language. So in order to make this happen, we need to use a driver, that is JDBC. So like you are using sound driver because your media player want to communicate with a hardware device like your speaker, or you use graphics driver. So some program, some software may need the interaction with your graphics card. So driver basically special program which allow us to communicate with specific hardware device. So here you can understand your database as a hardware device, okay, so with which our Java program wants to communicate. And how this going to happen? So this will happen through the JDBC driver. So in order to establish connection between your Java program and your database, you will require JDBC driver. So this is software component, you can say, that enables Java application to interact, to communicate with database. So here your database may be like MySQL, MS Access, Oracle, etc. So JDBC is Java API. API stands for Application Programming Interface, which allow us to connect our Java program and execute different queries on database. So this JDBC is a part of Java Standard Edition, and JDBC API uses JDBC drivers for establishing connection with a database. So here what is our target? Our target is to connect our Java program with certain database, and for that what we are going to require? We are going to require a driver, and that driver is JDBC. So JDBC is an intermediary between Java program and database. So through JDBC, the communication between Java program and our database will get happen. Okay, that is JDBC. So JDBC is fully written within Java programming language. Now question comes, why we require JDBC? So before JDBC, there was a driver called ODBC. So ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity. So ODBC is also a driver which was developed by Microsoft. So Microsoft has database products like MS Access, MS SQL Server. So Microsoft has developed this driver for communicating with MS Access or MS SQL Server. And initially the ODBC were used with Java programming language as well in order to establish connection between Java program and database. But the thing was, ODBC was written within language like C programming, and this language is platform dependent as well as it was unsecured, and that's why Java has created its own API called JDBC API. and this JDBC API uses JDBC drivers which are completely written within Java programming language. Now you know that Java programming language is platform independent as well as it is secure. Okay, that is what the advantage you are trying to seek here. So before JDBC there was ODBC driver. Okay, now whenever you will use JDBC API, what you can do with your Java program and database? So you can connect your Java program to database. This is the first thing. Second thing you can do, you can execute queries and you can update the data, you can delete the data, you can perform various database operations. Okay, as well as you can retrieve the result from database. Means this JDBC API will help you to perform CRUD operations. CRUD operations. Now what is this CRUD operation? So it allow you to create, it allow you to retrieve, it allow you to update, and it allow you to delete. So this basic operations will be performed on database with help of JDBC API. So your Java program will be able to perform all these operations on database. Okay, this will be the thing regarding JDBC API. Now JDBC API has certain types. Let's try to see these 4 types. So first type is called JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Second type is called native driver. Third type is called network protocol driver, and last type is called thin driver. These are the 4 types of JDBC. Now here I am not going to discuss these drivers in details. Okay, but one common thing I will try to tell you here, that in each of these type JDBC calls are converted to vendor specific API calls. Vendor specific API calls. Now what do you mean by here vendor specific? Vendor specific means which database product you are using for connecting to your Java program. According to that, calls will be converted. So if you are using MySQL, so JDBC calls will be converted according to MySQL. If you are using MS Access, then JDBC calls will be converted to MS Access. So there are different types of structure available in each of these driver in order to convert the JDBC calls to vendor specific calls. Okay, so these are the 4 types of drivers you have for JDBC. Okay, now next thing, what is JDBC exactly? So we can use this JDBC API for accessing a tabular data which is stored in relational database. Now you know that MS Access, Oracle, MS SQL Server, MySQL, all these are relational databases, and you know the concept of relational databases, where we try to organize our data, we try to store our data in form of tables, and table is made up of rows and columns. That is what the tabular data. So if you are storing your data in tabular form, in short, if you are storing your data in any relational database, then JDBC API will help you to access the tabular data from your database. So with the help of JDBC API, we will be able to perform different operation on our database. Like I told you, CRUD operation. Okay, so we can create, save, update, delete, we can retrieve, all these operations we will be able to perform on our data. So it is like your ODBC. So ODBC, you know now, that is Open Database Connectivity, which is provided by Microsoft. So these both drivers can be used in order to establish connection between Java program and a database. And now current version of JDBC is 4.3. This is the current version, this is the latest version of JDBC. Now this is regarding JDBC, ODBC, how Java program is going to communicate with our database. Okay, so in short, JDBC will be intermediary between Java program and our database. Now, as I told, we are going to discuss the java.sql package. Now let's try to see what this package is and what variety of classes and interfaces available within this package. Now friends, as we want to establish connection between Java program and database, so in order to execute queries, in order to perform certain database operations, we are going to require different interfaces, we are going to require different classes. So all such interfaces and classes are grouped together in a package, and that package name is java.sql package. So at the start of your program, you need to import this package, so all the interfaces and classes from this package will be available for use within your program. So how you are going to import this package? So statement you will write like this. I will write import java.sql.star. So this particular statement will make all classes and interfaces available for use. So make sure that you have imported this package at the start of your program. Now let's try to go through what different interfaces we have available within this java.sql package. Okay, so first of all, what driver interface is? So JDBC driver interface provides us vendor specific implementation of abstract classes that are provided by JDBC API. So to which database you are connecting your Java program, according to that it will provide us implementation of abstract classes. So in this, each vendor's driver will provide the specific implementation of connection interface, statement interface, prepared statement interface, result set interface and driver. Okay, so here this interface help us to get the vendor specific implementation of all these interfaces. This is the first interface available. Second interface available, that is connection interface. So this connection interface is used for establishing a connection between Java program and database. So as you can see, its name is connection. So it is used for establishing a connection between Java program and our database. So this interface is having methods like commit, rollback. Okay, so by default, whatever queries you perform, so all that queries are committed. Committed means the changes will be made permanent within the database by default. Okay, so there are different methods available within this connection interface. Let's try to go through that methods. First method is create statement. So this is the most important method. So this method basically creates the object of statement, and it is used for executing queries. So in order to execute query, first of all you need to create the statement object, and to create statement object this method will be useful. So create statement is the first method. Now second method, auto commit. Now as we discussed, by default all queries are committed, so you can set the status of auto commit true or false. So by default it is true. So if you want to make it false, you can use this method set auto commit, and you can pass here false value. Okay, next commit method. So it is used for making changes permanent to the database. Then rollback method. So this method basically roll back all the changes. It basically drops all the changes that were made by previous commit or rollback. Then last method we have close method. So whenever we establish a connection, so resource is getting available for use like your database. So after completing its use, you should free that resource, and for freeing that resource we will use close method. So it will close the connection and it will release all the JDBC resources. These are the methods of connection interface. Okay, then next to that we have a statement interface. statement interface is used for executing queries on our database. So let's try to see what methods we have for statement interface. So first method we have execute query. So execute query method basically returns a result set, and it requires the SQL query which is to be executed as an parameter. So this method basically used for select clause, or it is used for select query. Okay, because you know that select query is basically returning the number of rows, okay, from your table. So all that return rows will be stored within a object of result set. That's why its return type is result set. Okay, and remember that this function will be used with only select query. Okay, so here you will get the object of result set. So in example we are going to use this execute query. Okay, then next function we have, next method we have execute update. Now both of these functions are used for executing query, but understand difference here. This function is used for select query, whereas execute update is used for create, drop, insert, update, delete. Such kind of queries can be executed with help of execute update. Then third function we have execute. So this execute function is used for executing queries that may return multiple results. So for example, union all, okay, so intersect, such kind of queries can be executed with this third function. Then fourth function you have execute batch. So if you want to execute queries in a batch, then you can use execute batch function for doing something. Okay, these are the four functions available within the statement interface. Okay, now next to that, prepared statement. Now friends, understand here there are two types of statements. There are two types of statements. First type is called statement, and second type is called prepared statement. Now whenever you are executing static queries, then you try to use a statement interface, and whenever you want to execute dynamic queries, then you try to execute it with prepared statement interface. So static query means what? Where you will define the values that is to be inserted, that is to be manipulated within your database in query itself. So for example, I may write query like this: string q is equal to insert into student values, and here I will specify values itself directly. Okay, let's say my name is Rohit and my branch is computer. So you can see here this kind of query is called static query, because these values are fixed. Now if I execute this query one time, or if I execute this query 20 times, what is going to be happen? This is going to be inserted these two values within my database, within my table, student table. Okay, such kind of queries are called static queries, and in order to execute these queries you try to use statement interface. And another query is your dynamic query. Dynamic query means what? You will try to read values from user, and that values you will try to insert into database. Means the values are not fixed. In the first run values may be different, in the second run values may be different. Okay, values are getting changed. Such kind of queries are called dynamic queries. So in order to execute such kind of queries, you can use prepared statement. So in prepared statement, values are not specified. So here I have specified values of first name, branch. So in prepared statement, query will be like this. So I will write here string q is equal to, let's say, insert into student values, and now here I will not specify value, I will specify question mark here. First question mark, second question mark. So these values are not fixed. These values will be decided later on. Such kind of queries are called dynamic queries, and this query will be executed with prepared statement. So to execute this query, we have a interface called prepared statement interface. Okay, so see here, prepared statement interface. So this interface is a sub interface of your statement that we have just seen, and it is used for executing parameterized query. You can see here we are going to pass the values in form of parameter. So first value will be fname and second value will be computer. Okay, so there are certain methods available within prepared statement interface that we are going to use for setting these parameters. Okay, so see the example here, string SQL insert into student, and here we are writing this question mark instead of values. Okay, so for passing parameter we are using this question mark over here, and it represents the values. So how we are going to pass this parameter? So for that there is a method available within prepared statement interface. Another example I will tell you. This is example of insert query. Suppose I have update query, how my query will be. So I will write here q1, and here I will write update student set fname is equal to Rohit, where now my condition will be id is equal to question mark. Okay, so here you can see we are not writing the value of id here. Instead of that we are going to pass it in form of parameter. Okay, or another query I will write here, string q2 is equal to delete from student, where id is equal to question mark. So such kind of queries are executed with help of prepared statement interface. Okay, so why to use prepared statement interface if we have statement available already? So it improves performance. How? Because in case of prepared statement, the query is already compiled, and that's why the performance is improved. So how to get the instance of prepared statement? So for that we have to use prepared statement interface. So how you can create the instance of prepared statement? So here you have to write prepared statement pst is equal to, you will write here connection dot prepare statement, and here you can pass your SQL query whichever you want. This is how you are going to create the instance of prepared statement. Okay, so you can see public prepared statement, and here you can pass the SQL query which you want to prepare, and it throws the SQL exception. Okay, now what methods we have for prepared statement interface? First method we have setInt. Now all these methods are used for setting the parameters. Okay, so for example, this is my query and I want to set the parameters here, first parameter, second parameter. How I am going to do that? So for that we need to know what is structure of table. Okay, suppose in student table, okay, this is our table student, and there are two fields, fname and L name. Now assume that f name is varchar, means it is string, okay, and L name is also varchar, assume that, okay, varchar. Now here both of these fields are storing string kind of value. So here, in order to set this value, I will use a method called setString. I will use a method called setString. So it sets the string value to given parameter index. Now what is parameter index? So this is the first parameter, this is the second parameter, you can see. Okay, so what I can write here, I can write pst dot set string, and here I will write first parameter. So I will write 1 comma what value I want here, what value I want here. So I want, let's say, Rajesh, for example. So this will set this first name to first parameter, and I will copy this query over here like this. Okay, or what you can do, you can pass your query variable q like this, it will also okay. Now second parameter also you need to set, so I will duplicate this line like this, and here I will write second parameter, and what value I want to last name, I want last name value as Ahuja, for example. This is how we will set the parameters for our parameterized query. Okay, so for example, there are 3 values in our database. There are 3 columns in our database. Let's say first name, last name, and let's say branch. Branch is also there, branch. Okay, this is also varchar. Now what will be our query? So there will be 3 question marks, because there are going to be 3 values, and I will use another statement here like this, pst dot set string, and I will say branch is a computer. This is how I am going to set the parameters. Now assume that here we have one more column, and that column is, let's say, marks, and this marks value is int value. Now there will be one more question mark over here, and what I will do now, I will use another method of prepared statement interface, and that method is setInt. What is that method? You can see setInt. So it is used for setting the integer value. So what integer value I want, I can set that value here like this. Suppose marks are 80 marks. So this is how parameters will be passed to the prepared statement. Okay, so these values will be replaced over here. You can see there are 4 question marks. So first parameter, second parameter, third parameter, fourth parameter, and you can see these are specifying. Okay, I forgot it, there should be 3 and here should be 4. Okay, this is how. So in order to use this, you must know the structure of your table. You must know the data type of each column. Then and then only you can decide which function should be used. So what functions we have here? setInt for setting integer value, setString for setting string value, setFloat for setting float value, setDouble. Okay, then execute update. Now this is similar to whatever we have discussed earlier. It is used for executing create, drop, insert, update queries, and execute query. This is used for executing select query. So for example, I want to execute this query now. How I will execute this query? So I will write pst dot execute query. As I am inserting, so I will write here execute update like this. This is how my statement will be there. Okay, so this q will be part of this code. So you can see, first of all, we have return query, then we have prepared statement over here, and then we have set all the parameter values, and at last we have executed our query. Like this you can execute query with the prepared statement. So understand difference between prepared statement and statement interface. So whenever you want to execute static queries, okay, go for statement interface. Whenever you want to execute dynamic queries more than one time, multiple times you have to execute queries, go for prepared interface. You will get better performance. Okay, then next interface we have result set interface. So result set interface is used for collecting the result which is written by select query. So if you observe, the return type of execute query is what? Result set. Why? Because this function is used for executing select query, and as you know, select query is used for retrieving data. So whatever data will be written, whatever data will be retrieved, it will get stored within the object of result set interface. So the object of result set interface basically maintains a cursor, a pointer which is pointing to the starting row. Okay, so you can traverse through all available records with help of result set interface object. Okay, so there are different methods available, like you have next method to move cursor to the next row, previous method for moving cursor to the previous row, first method for moving cursor to the first row, last method for moving cursor to last row, absolute, so moving cursor to specific row number. So let's say you have 10 rows in a result set. So if you want to move your cursor to 7th row, you can use this absolute method. Then next method you have relative method. So you can use it to move your cursor to relative row number in your result set object. So it may be positive or it may be negative. Okay, so basically this next method is used with a while loop. Okay, so in example I will demonstrate the use of this method. GetInt, so it returns the data of specific column number, whatever index you will pass here, so it will return the data of that column number. Then getInt, you can specify here column name, so it is used for returning the data of specific column name. Then getString, it is used for returning the data, it is used for retrieving the data, whatever column index you will specify here. And getString, so here we are passing the column name as an parameter, so whatever column name you will write here, it will return the data of that column name. So these are few methods that are available within the result set interface. Now next to this we will try to see what classes we have within the java.sql package. So first class we have here driver manager class. So this driver manager class acts as an interface between user and drivers, and this driver manager class is responsible for keeping the track of all available drivers within the system, and it also handles the establishing connection between the database and appropriate driver. So loading the drivers appropriately according to whatever program we are writing, according to which database we are connecting our Java program. So driver manager class basically do all that task. Okay, so maintaining the list of drivers that are available, establishing the connection, act as an interface between user and drivers. So driver manager class maintains the list of all driver classes that have been registered themselves by calling the register driver method. This is the method of driver manager class. So whichever driver will use this method to register itself, so it will maintain the list of all drivers. Now what methods we have for driver manager class? Let's try to see. First method we have register driver. So here we have to pass the driver class, and this will register the given driver with the driver manager, so it will get added within the list of driver manager. Okay, Then second one, deregister. So if you want to remove your driver from the list of driver manager, then you will use this deregister driver method. Then third method, we have very important method, get connection. Now this get connection has two versions. In first one, you can pass the URL which will be used for establishing connection with the database, and second method is using URL, username and password as a parameter. So according to your requirement, you can use any of these methods for establishing connection. So if your database is protected with username password, you can go for this second one, otherwise first one you can prefer. So get connection is a method which is used for establishing connection with the specific URL, and what this URL will represent, it will represent where your database is available. Okay, so these are the useful methods of driver manager class. Now as we know now, different classes and interfaces that are available in java.sql package. Now we are going to discuss what steps we need to follow in order to establish a connection between Java program and a database. So we are going to discuss 6 steps. Actually I have added one extra step over here. Okay, so these 6 steps will help you to connect your Java program with any database like MS Access, MySQL, Oracle and so on. So what steps we have, let's try to see. First step, we have register the driver, register the database driver, or I will say here load the driver. This is the first step. Second step, create connection or establish connection. Third step, create statement for executing queries. Fourth step, execute queries, fire queries on your database. Now if your query is returning any result, then collect that result and process them. Means you can display them, you can store them somewhere else, anything, whatever you want, you can do with your results. And at last, close connection, so all resources will get free. Okay, these are the 6 steps. Now each step we will try to see one by one, and then I will show you one program which will follow these 6 steps and it will establish connection with a database. So first step is what? Registering the database driver or loading the database driver. Now friends, as I told you, Java program cannot directly communicate with any database. It needs a intermediary program, and that program is a database driver. So first of all, we need to load our drivers. We need to register database drivers. Then and then only communication will be possible. So for registering the database driver, we have to use a forName method. Name of method is forName. This method is available within a class called class. Name of class is what? Class itself. Name of class is what? Class itself. So forName is a method which is used for registering the driver class. After all, driver is what? A class. Okay, so you need to register class, and for that you are going to use forName method. Where this forName method is available? In a class. Okay, and this method will load our driver dynamically on the fly, and syntax for this method is like this: public static void forName, and here you have to write the class name which represent your driver, and this method throws class not found exception. So if the required class file, if the required driver class file will not found, then it will generate this exception. So name of exception is class not found. So in previous versions of JDBC, we need to use this statement for registering our driver. But in the latest version of JDBC like 4.0, we don't have to register our driver, because JDBC 4.0 automatically finds the driver and it loads the driver. So this statement is optional if you are using JDBC 4.0. okay, if you are using older version, then you need to use this statement. So how we can register our driver in JDBC 4.0? So for that, we just need to specify all jar files in our class path. So whatever your driver will be there, so it will contain different class files, jar files. So just we need to add all that jar files to the class path variable. So automatically JDBC will detect and load drivers. So I will show you one example here how this for name will load the driver. So as this method is static, you can call it directly with the class name. So name of class is class itself, and what is method we are calling? For name. And you can see this is actually the path where this ODBC driver class is available. So Oracle is a directory name in which JDBC directory is available. In JDBC driver directory is available, and in this driver directory there is a Oracle driver available. Okay, this is how you will load your driver if you are using older version of JDBC. But if you are using latest version, then what you have to do? You have to just copy the all driver files within the GRE location. Okay, I will show you that shortly. Okay, and we have to set the class path variable for that. So if you do that, your driver will get registered automatically. Okay, this is the first step. Now second step, creating the connection object. So we have to create the object of connection here. Okay, and the method of driver manager class get connection, we have discussed this get connection. So this method of driver manager class we are going to use for establishing a connection. So the statement is like this. There are two versions just we have discussed. First version, directly you can specify URL, and second version where you can use the username and password as well while establishing a connection. Both of these throws SQL exception. Okay, so let's see the example here. If you want to execute, if you want to connect your Java program with the MySQL database. Okay, so what will be the statements here? Connection, name of connection, any name you can specify, driver manager dot get connection. So here we are specifying the URL which is representing our database and username as well as password. So here JDBC followed by which database to which we are connecting? MySQL, and followed by that path of our database where our MySQL database is available. So on localhost port number is 3306, and what is name of my database? Demo. And what is username and password which I am used for accessing this database? Demo. So whatever database you will create in MySQL, so according to that the name of database you can specify here, and the username and password you can specify here. Okay, and as well I will tell you, check the port number where your MySQL is running. You may have some different port as well. This is by default port for MySQL. So such kind of statement will use for establishing a connection. Okay, now if your connection got established, next step is create the statement object. Now friends, why you are establishing connection with your database? Because you want to execute certain queries, and in order to execute certain queries on your database, you have to create the object of statement. Okay, so to create the object of statement, we will use the create statement method of connection interface. So the object of this statement will be responsible for executing queries, And what will be the syntax? So it will be like public statement create statement and it throws SQL exception. So see the example here, statement, name of statement is equal to connection dot create statement. This is how we will create the statement. This is step number 3. Once your statement is ready, next step is writing query and executing query. So for executing query, we have two methods available. One is execute query and another one is execute update. So execute query method is used for executing select query, whereas execute update is used for executing insert, update, delete, this such kind of queries. Okay, so execute query, this method basically returns the object of result set, and that object will contain all the rows that are written by your select query. So syntax you can see here, public result set execute query, and here you will pass probably the select query, and this method throws SQL exception. So see the example here, result set res statement dot execute query, and what query I am executing? Select star from student. So whatever record this query will return, all that records will be available within the res object. Okay, and we can use while loop to traverse through all these rows which are available within res. So you can see the logic here, while res dot next. So we have discussed this next method of result set interface. So it points our cursor to the next record. So this while loop will continue until res object has records. So this loop will continue until res object has records in it. Once it will reach to the last record, so this while loop will get terminate. And what logic we are writing inside of this while loop? So we are retrieving the values. Okay, so as we discuss example, student table, it has two fields, first name and last name. So I am retrieving first name and last name here. How? So I am creating two variable, fname for storing first name. Here I am storing first name, and here I am retrieving and storing last name, where I am storing in this respected variables. And which method I am using here? So I am using here getInt method. So you can use string method as well here. So for example, I will write get string, res.getString, and we can pass the column number over here. So the first number will represent the fname column, whereas the second number will represent the lname column. Instead of this, you can also write the name of columns here. Suppose my column name is fname, I can write that column name here. Okay, so whichever will be convenient way, you can use that way. So let's say I will write here the name of columns, fname and lname. So it will retrieve data from fname and it will store within this variable. It will retrieve data from lname and it will store within this lname variable. And once we got these values within fname and lname, we are printing them here. So this while loop will print all the records one by one that are available within the result set object res. Okay, like this you can use logic. Now last step, you have closing the connection. So by closing the connection object statement, the result set will be closed automatically. Whatever result set we have created here, it will get closed automatically, and this close method will use for closing the connection, for terminating the connection. So what is syntax for close method? So it is like public void close and it throws SQL exception. And see the example, connection dot close. Okay, these are the 6 steps that we have seen in order to establish a connection. Okay, so once again I will try to revise here what steps we have seen. So first step was loading drivers. Second step we have seen establishing connection. This is second step we have seen. Third step we have seen creating statement for executing queries. Fourth step we have seen execute query. So here we can use execute query function or execute update function. Fifth step we have seen collect and process result. If you are executing select query, then you will collect the result that are written by your select query and you will display them. And at last, after doing all these things, you will close the connection. These are the 6 steps. Now I will discuss one basic example where we will follow all these 6 steps in order to establish a connection with MS Access database. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will create first of all one sample database. Okay, so I will open the MS Access over here first of all. Okay, and I will choose one blank database, and let's say name of database is student. Okay, and let's create this database where I want this database, and let's say in D drive I want it. Okay, so I will create this. Now table 1 will get available here by default. So what I will do here, I will open this table in design view, and name of my table is, let's say, student. Okay, and here I will delete this field. Instead of this, I will assume field name, let's say roll number. Okay, it will be number. Then next I will assume F name, it will be a short text. Okay, and next field I am assuming L name, again it will be a short text. Okay, these 3 fields I am assuming. So in the student database we have student table, and right now you can see there are no records available. So I will insert some random values here. Let's say roll number is 1, F name is Rohit, L name is K. Another record I will insert Rahul J. Another record I will insert here, let's say Prakash M. Okay, so these few records I have inserted here, and then I will close this file. Okay, now my file is ready. Now next thing, in order to connect our Java program with this MS Access file, we will require a driver. So here we are going to use a third party driver called uCanAccess. Name of driver is uCanAccess driver. Okay, so I will show you. You can search this driver on internet, and very easily you can get this driver in form of zip file. So if you download this file, so extract this file first of all. Okay, so after extraction you will get this directory, and within this now you can see this is a driver file, jar file you can see here. So uCanAccess, this is the name of driver, and to support this driver we require some more files that are available within the lib directory. So all these 5 files you try to copy within the JRE of your system. Okay, so copy all these files, these 4 files, and this uCanAccess, this 5th file. Total 5 files are there. Okay, so copy these files into JRE lib ext. This is the location, JRE lib ext extension. Okay, lib stands for library, ext stands for extension. So copy all these 5 files at this location. Now you can see here already I have copied these files. Okay, you can see these are the 5 files. these 5 jar files you have to place at this location. Now friends, for example, you are connecting your Java program to MySQL, then the driver file of MySQL you will try to place at this location. Okay, so for example, your file is MySQL connector. This is driver for connecting Java program to MySQL. So copy this file and place this file in the same location like this. Okay, whichever driver you may have, you can place all that driver at this location. Okay, now next thing, you have to set the class path of all the jar files. Okay, so get this path first of all. See here, get this path and I will show you. Okay, so paste this path like this, and now one by one copy the name of all these files. So I will copy the file name and .jar. This is the path of first jar file. Now in the same way, what I have to do? I have to copy the path for remaining jar files like this. Now just replace these names whatever you have. So I will copy this over here. Okay, this remaining thing I will remove like this. Okay, next what I have, so just copy this path name over here. Next I have commons log file, okay, commons lang file, and this is commons logging file. So like this I am creating this path. Okay, now after getting all this path, what you have to do? You have to add this all paths to the class path variable. Now where class path variable is available, see here, go to the properties of your computer and then find this advanced system setting. Then this dialog will appear in front of you. Here is the option called environment variable. Now here you can see already I have added class path for Dell user as well as for system variable. Okay, so if you double click on it, you can see path for all these jar files we have already added here. Like this you have to add your jar files to class path. JDBC 4.0 automatically loads the driver from class path variable. This is how. So set the class path for all your driver related jar files like this. Okay, so add class path to your current user as well as add class path to system variable. Here as well I have added class path. So here if you add class path to system variable, this class path variable and its value will be available for all users. And if you add class path over here, so this will be available only for Dell user. Okay, so if you have multiple users available on your computer and you want to make it available for all users, just add class path to system variable. Okay, now after doing this, your first step completed. Loading driver is completed. Now friends, I will suggest you restart your computer here. Restart your computer. Sometime what happens, after adding this all jar files to class path, still we get error that cannot find class. Okay, so to avoid further problems, I will recommend you after performing this step, you try to restart your computer and then you can carry out the next steps. So next steps are all available within your program. Okay, so next step is what? Establishing a connection. So for that, now what I will do, I will create one new file over here and let's try to save this file within the bin directory. Okay, so I will specify name here, demo 6 is already there. Let's say demo9.java. This is name of my file. So first of all, here I will import the package java.sql. Okay, now my package is ready. So create class demo 9, and within this class I will create main method like this. Okay, and within this main method I will create try catch block like this, and I will use catch block over here, catch exception E, and here just we will write system.out.println error, and we will print it. Okay, now this basic structure I have created. Okay, import package, create one class, create one main method, and within that specify try catch block. As all these methods are going to throw certain kind of exception, we are using this try catch statements over here. Now here you have to write the logic. Now friends, this structure will be common for all programs, all database programs. So you connect your database program to Oracle, MySQL, MS Access, to any database. This structure will be common. Once you create it, you can write logic for any database. Okay, so first of all, here we have performed step number 1 already. Step number 1 we have done already, that is loading drivers. So how we have loaded our driver? By setting class path, variable. Okay, this first step we have done already, because latest version of JDBC we are using, that's why we are not going to use for name method over here. Friends, if you are using older version, then definitely write down statement, okay, class.forName and the path of your class file. Okay, so next step number 2. Step number 2 is what? Creating connection. This is step number 2. How you are going to create connection? So I will write here connection, name of my connection object is equal to driver manager dot get connection. So this is method we have discussed, driver manager dot get connection. And now here we have to provide the path of our database. So I will write here JDBC colon you can access. This is name of driver, you can access, colon double slash, and now here I have to specify the path of my database file, where my database file is available on D drive, and what is name of our file? Student. So here I will write D colon double slash student dot sccdb. This is how we will specify the path. Okay, now friend, understand, whatever path will be there for your database file, according to that you will write over here. So for example, my student.sccdb file is available within test directory under D drive. So what will be my path? It will be like this. Okay, depend on whatever path you have, you can write it. So directly my file is available on D drive, that's why I have written my path like this. So this is the step number 2, establishing a connection. Now step number 3 is creating a statement, create statement for executing query. So how we will do that? So this is step number 3, create statement. So how I will create statement? So I will write here statement st is equal to connection dot create statement, create statement. Okay, so here our statement will be ready, and name of statement is est. So this est will be used for executing query. This was step number 3. Now step number 4. Step number 4 is executing query. So execute query. Now friends, as you know, for executing query we have two functions available. First function is execute query, okay, and second function is execute update. So if you are executing select query, you will use this first one. If you are executing insert update delete, you will use this execute update function. Okay, now here I will first of all write select query. So what I will do, I will create one string variable q, and here I will write select star from name of our table student. Now our query is ready. Let's try to write now the statement which will execute it. So I will write here result set res is equal to statement dot execute query, like this. And what query we have to execute? This query. So just I will write q over here. Okay, so this statement will execute our query. Now as this query is going to return results, and we are collecting that result in the object of this result set, so we will process our result now. So here I will write step number 5, process result. So here I will write display and process result. So for that I will write logic while res.next. So this while loop will continue until res has records in it. Okay, once it will reach to the last record, while loop will get terminate. And now friends, we have to use the method of this result set, okay, in order to retrieve the values from our columns. So as I have 3 columns in my database table, so I will create 3 variables here. String, let's say first of all is roll number, okay, and I will write here res dot get string. This is a method. Okay, so instead of this I should use int over here, get int, and name of my column I will write first column. Now here I will duplicate this line. Okay, one more time I will duplicate this line, as I want to retrieve 3 values. So second value will be fname, and third value will be lname, and here I will use get string method, get string. Okay, and here as well I will use get string method, and this will return value from column number 2, this will return value from column number 3. So this first statement is representing roll number column from our database. The second statement is representing fname column, and the third statement is representing lname column. Okay, so instead of these numbers you can write your column name as well if you want. Now we will print all these values. So for that I will write here system.out.println, and here I will write the roll number is plus roll number. Okay, this is first statement for printing roll number. Now I will duplicate this, and here I will write first name is, what is our first name? fname, and then I will duplicate this statement one more time, and here I will write last name is lname. Okay, this is how we are going to print all our result. Okay, and at last step number 6, that is close connection. So for closing connection I will write statement connection dot close. This is how we have completed our program. So step number 1, we have loaded driver by setting class path. Step number 2, we have created connection. Step number 3, we have created statement. Step number 4, we have executed query. Step number 5, we have collected result and displayed them. And step number 6, we have close connection. If there is any exception occurred, this will be handled by this catch block and it will print the message accordingly. Now our program is ready. Let's try to test it. So I will get the path of bin directory first of all. Start the command prompt. Switch to that path first of all. Now I will write javac and name of our file is demo9.java. Okay, there is one error we got over here. Let me check. So here what I can do, okay, so again I will compile. Okay, it got compiled. Now Java demo 9, and here you can see the result. Okay, we are getting first name, last name and roll number. So record number 1, here it is record number 2, here it is record number 3. Like this we are getting data over here. What I can do here, I can add a separator over here, so you will be able to understand result more properly. Okay, so here I will add this line. Okay, and again I will try to compile our file. So you can see here clearly first record, second record, third record. Like this we will be able to display records from our database. Now I will show you few more queries. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will write another query over here, let's say Q1, and I will try to insert record. So my query will be insert into student, and as I have 3 columns, so the first value will be the number, let's say 4, then name, let's say Mahesh, and let's say surname is H. Okay, this is our query. Okay, and okay, there should be values. Insert into student values. So as we have 3 columns, we have written these 3 values. Now as this query is insert query, I am going to use execute update function or method. So how I will do, statement st dot execute update, this is my statement, and which query, Q1. Okay, now let's try to run this code again. So here this code is executed. Now in order to view my result, okay, I have to run this file again, and then I will be able to see 4 records. You can see here, this is the last record we have inserted, 4 Mahesh and surname H. Okay, so this is how you will insert your record. Now next query I will show you, update string Q2 is equal to, my query will be update student set, let's say fname is equal to, let's say Raj, where my condition is roll number is equal to 1. Okay, this is our query. Now as you can see, roll number 1 is having name Rohit, so this will get update to Raj after execution of this query. Now again I will use the same statement, as this is update query. Okay, so I will write here Q2. Now again I will execute this query, or for that what I will do, I will comment this query, because if I execute this again, it will insert same record again. So that's why I am commenting this query. Okay, now I will compile this program again. And now we have executed this, and you can see here the result. The roll number 1 has got updated with first name as a Raj. This is update query. Okay, now again I will comment this, and at last I will show you delete query. So what I will do, I will duplicate these lines instead of writing again. Okay, and I will change this to Q3, and I will change this query. Okay, delete from student where roll number is 1, and this should be Q3. This should be Q3. Okay, now again I will compile my program, and let's try to execute it. Now it has deleted record. Again, to view the result, I will run it again. Now you can see we have only these records available. So this record got deleted. What was our condition? Delete from student where roll number is 1. Now you can see here the record which has roll number 1 is deleted. So we have roll number 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 is double over there actually. Okay, so this is how the delete query will execute. Okay, now I will show you the prepared statement as well. This is your normal statement. Suppose I want to try prepared statement. So what I will do here now, I will create here prepared statement PST is equal to connection dot prepare statement, and here I will write my query, insert into student values. I will write like this, values, and now how many columns I have? 3 columns. So I will write question mark, question mark, question mark. This is my insert query. Okay, now to set parameters to this query, I will write here PST dot set int, what is my first value? So 1 comma, let's say roll number is 5. Okay, now I will duplicate this, and here I will use set string method, as other columns are your string variable. Okay, so here I will use, let's say, what name I want, Ganesh. Okay, and I will duplicate this one more time. Now this is second parameter, this is third parameter, and his surname is Yan. And now how I will execute this query? As this query is insert query, I am going to use execute update. So here I will write PST dot execute update. Okay, this is how we will use prepared statement over here. Now let's try to execute this query. So again I will compile our file. Okay, there is error. Okay, this should be prepared statement. Okay, it got compiled, and now again to view the result, I will run it again, and we will get the new record inserted. You can see here roll number 5, Ganesh, N. This record we have inserted. This is how you will execute prepared statement. Okay, so this is all about how you can connect your Java program with MS Access. Same kind of steps you can follow for connecting your program to MySQL, connecting your program to Oracle, or connecting your program to any other database. Okay, this is overall discussion I had regarding how we can connect Java program to any database. So friends, if you find this video useful, please like and share this video. I will see you in next video. Thank you so much for watching.